Hello, and welcome to this week's studio vlog with me, Carolyn from Crafting with Glorious Purpose. We're here, we make unique gifts, and for you or for that special someone. This week, I think we might have stopped the scammers. Hello everybody, and welcome to Tuesday. So I've had my shop on for, I think, a total of maybe a day, and I'm already at over 470 transactions still coming through to test if the credit card is a live credit card. None of them have gone through, so I think the changes that I had made is working. It's still frustrating to see these still coming through. I don't think they're using the bot anymore because they started to and everything was failing. The one item that did go through was a sticker, so I hid that item in my store, and then somebody picked another item. So they're inactive on my store enough that I know it's not a bot for that, because they were able to go in and click on another item and then keep running through. The only good thing is they picked a cheaper item, which I don't even know how that's even possible. So I think it was probably another person somewhere else, because the cheapest item I have is a $3 sticker. So that the tax, if it came up to be $4.03, now it's $3.27. So it has to be someplace where the tax is cheaper. I don't know. I don't have anything that's under, I don't know what they would have picked for $4 or to get that number, but I had a feeling like I actually saw that the one that came through, I was able to actually see what they chose. Now these are all failing and coming in as incomplete on my Stripe dashboard, and they're coming in spurts where I think that they're wise to the fact that I have some script running on here. And these are the ones that are built in with Stripe's radar. So they're checking for, compatibility with the CVC number. They're entering all these. They don't have them, obviously, because they probably got them off a list somewhere. But Every single one of these is a different card, countries all over the place, and names, just random names. So I feel for all these people that have had their cards stolen. I am out $0 other than the 75 cents that I got charged for the one that did make it through. I've been monitoring this very closely because I don't want any of these to slip through. 2 of them were blocked by Stripe, but the rest of them have all been coming through as incomplete because they are failing at one of the checkpoints that I have set in place. I do not offer international, so that automatically is a red flag and fails for them. I'm not even sure how they even got to the point, other than I think they entered the address as a New York address, but the card is from the Philippines or they're Malaysia, or some of them are United States. But I did actually slow them down, but they're still entering a lot of cards. The last one had come through, and the time zone's all wacky on this, and I don't know if it's Stripe's time zone or what, but the last one came through. Let's see if this changed. Oh, 3 more came in since I last checked. So they're coming in, and they say 12:27 p.m. on January 27th, which obviously I don't know. It got to the point where I was so pissed doing this that I've opened up a Shopify, just so I don't have to deal with Stripe. But I don't think Printify will work unless I go through Stripe. So now I have to do that kind of back end watching videos and stuff. But I do have a free trial right now with Shopify, and I'm looking at using them. I don't know if that's going to be a make or break for me, because it is more than double what I'm paying right now for my platform. But the fraud protection is much better. And I reached out to Big Cartel about mine, and the point that I was trying to make to them was I was trying to find something to put on in the front end before it even got to Stripe. Because Stripe has their built-in things, but then they make you pay extra to get better coverage, which is frustrating to me because that's where I'm going to lose the money. Every time, once I've hit that threshold where they're protecting me using one of the things that I pay extra for, I have to pay to have it stopped, which is, to me, ridiculous. like that should be built in, fraud protection. I mean, come on. But regardless, I reached out because I saw a lot of stuff when I was reading that you can put in things into your shopping cart part of your app, of your code, to actually have it meet specific criteria, and it will automatically fill it there, so it doesn't even go to Stripe. And that part is locked down, and you cannot edit that on Big Cartel. You can edit the code on everything in the HTML except for your shopping cart, because they said because of security reasons they don't have that open. But they were going to escalate it up to the team, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for right now. I'm not going to close my Big Cartel because it's pivotal on all of the business that I've done so far and all the hard work I've put in. But I am actively looking at doing this through Shopify. I'm trying my hardest to learn how to set this shop up. Not as user-friendly as they make it sound. I mean, I'm not even doing the coding. I'm just clicking on things, and I'm having a hard time getting things to change or look the way I want them to. Big Cartel was a lot easier to use my brand and get things the way I wanted it. But this is also giving me a chance to go through and clean up some of my photography, clean up some of the stuff I no longer want on my Big Cartel, things I might not even offer on my Big Cartel, or my retail site, I should say, in person. I do a lot of vinyl decals. I've never sold one online. I have a ton of them, and they're taking up space, and nobody buys them. I don't even think anybody even looks at them. So I think what I'm going to do is look at maybe not offering those and only doing those for in-person events, other than my nose art decals, like those ones I have sold a few online. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, is working through my 3-day trial to see if it's something I want to pursue. And then of course you get the 3-day or the 3 months at $1, and then it goes up to if you pay for the full year, it's $29 a month. So that's going to be a huge chunk, which I have a feeling I'm not even going to make that. And then I'm going to be right back where I was, putting stuff back onto Big Cartel. And then having to buy new business cards and everything else. So that's where I'm at. I haven't really done anything other than that for the past day and a half. Just trying to make sure that I'm not getting taken for money. And it's exhausting. I got to tell you, I kind of feel like I want to punch somebody. It's frustrating when you're a small business to work really hard and then just get knocked down. Like you get up to the top of the mountain and somebody just puts a boot right in your face and knocks you right back down where you were, and you got to start all over again. And it's like, I don't want to have to do this, you know? Like I'm almost at rage quitting, flipping tables and just saying I'm done. And I know everybody's going to say, well, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't give up. You know, you need to work hard. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's always, the deck will always be stacked against you, because these scammers win every single time, no matter what you do. You put this in place, they find a way around it. And you're the one that's going to eat the cost. So I do not want to spend more money with Stripe. They take enough out in fees. So I don't want to pay more to have them do their job, which is, why would they let scammers go through? Like, why should I have to pay to have that not happen? Like, that, to me, that's ridiculous. So yeah, if I can get rid of them, not using them, that's great. But I also don't know another way around Printify. Now that I've opened that shop, that also uses Stripe. So it's only a matter of time before they get smart and they move on. But the part that I think is funny is the fact that none of these are successfully going through, but they've been trying for another 100+ transactions. So what are they actually getting out of this is what I want to know, because they're not getting an accurate representation if the card is being tracked. It's not declining it, saying that it was reported stolen. It's incomplete because they can't complete it, because I've made it so they can't complete it, and they're still pushing it. So who's the dumbass is what I want to ask. But yeah, I'm very frustrated. And so that's how I've spent my last couple days. I'm hoping that I can kind of move on from this. Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to get back on here after lunch here and go back to work. But what I wanted to do was just kind of give you an update on how the scammer thing is going. It's frustrating to me. My new microphones will be here Friday. Hopefully, I don't know, I'm sure it'll be delayed because of the weather. We got about 10.5 inches of snow over the weekend. And right now it is, it's flipping cold. Negative digits today, negative digits tomorrow. Wind chills, they said we're supposed to be in the negative 20s at some point. I mean, it's brutal out there. The mail guy came today and dropped off a package that my husband had ordered, and God bless the guy getting out of the van. I would have left it. It would have been like, come get to the post office and pick it up. But I know that's his job. I get it. And I thank him for that. They do a great job. I love my postman. He's an actual sweetheart. He always, if it's too big to go in a thing, he'll take all the mail and bring it all up at the same time and leave it on the porch, so we don't have to like pick up the package and then go down to the mailbox and get the mail too. He brings everything up. And when he's got a different person on the route, we notice, because they leave mail in the mailbox and just bring the package up. So I think he's an awesome guy. But anyway, that's beside the point here. So I am going to get back log back into work, and then hopefully catch you tomorrow where we can kind of work on some things. I did pick up some new stands that I saw at Target in their dollar section. They were only $5 a piece, so I picked up 4 so that I had them for my table. But I think I'm going to try these for the new table look that I'm going to go for this smaller event. So I will check in with you tomorrow and show you what those look like, and then hopefully we can start working on what products we're going to take to that, because that is going to be coming a lot quicker than I'm ready for. I got to get that started, and I also got to get scratch-out cards ready. I have about 36, so I need to get more. So I will catch you then. So here we are at Wednesday. I spent my lunch break kind of ironing out a little more details on my Shopify store. And I did talk to Stripe last night. I finally had enough. Another 100 transactions went through, and another 100 went through last night. All of them have been caught and not active orders. They were all failed as incomplete. But the thing that I wanted to make sure is that this isn't going to impact me negatively on Stripe for having all these card testing things on my account. So I talked to a lovely guy named George, who was super sweet. And he was like, yeah, this is most definitely a card testing group. And that he was going to escalate it up to their tech department, because he was just a customer service guy and not the tech support. So they were going to reach out to me. I have yet to hear back from them about what can happen, if they can stop it, or if they're going to come back and say that I have to pay the extra money for the radar to have it stopped. For me, I'm just going to go to Shopify. I don't want to deal with it then, if that's the case. So I'm currently done with my lunch break here. But I wanted to kind of give that update on the scam thing. I did make some headway on my site, so I can kind of show you where I'm at, and give you a little sneak peek of what my Shopify might look like. Like I said, I'm still tweaking. I'm still learning the settings. Some things are very frustrating. Other things are very easy. But just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at with it. The moment. So this would be, let me go back to my page here. So this is my page, and I did my nice shot of my shadow boxes, but I ultimately would like to turn this into like a movie or a video, scrolling through multiple things like I currently have on my Big Cartel. And then I have my newest products, which are basically the only products I have listed in here. I was kind of testing out. And then I have a place for the collections. I do want to add something else here. I'm at the moment only have 7. So I got to think of another product or something to put there so that it's not that odd. And then I set up my socials down here, but I still got to work on the rest of this footer. And then the homepage, I think, is at a good point. But when you go to the catalog, it just has all the products. So I got to set it up with collections and all that good stuff. But I'm not quite there just yet. But I'm liking the way it looks. I think it looks very professional. I did kind of get stuck down a rabbit hole with shipping and taxes. So there's that. The shipping and taxes, the taxes kept me up last night. I couldn't remember what I watched, what I didn't watch, but I was trying to figure out the whole Nexus thing. And should I be collecting sales tax? Should I not be collecting sales tax for every item? And the answer is, and I'm not a tax professional, and I may be doing this completely wrong, but from what I was watching from a tax professional was your Nexus in the state you are in, obviously, because that's where you're selling from, and you only hit Nexus in other states if you meet their threshold for that period of time that they have. Most of them are a calendar year. So, or a 12-month period, I should say. So if you have 200 transactions, I think one of them, like, I forget what state it was, you had to reach $100,000 for the year and 200 transactions. So I was trying to desperately go down the rabbit hole because I was like, well, if I find out in September that I reached Nexus, am I responsible for all the sales tax prior to this 201 transaction? Let's be honest, I'm not reaching that. I have 30 freaking sales for the past 3 years from Stripe. So I really am not hopeful that this is going to be any different going through. But in the off chance this takes off and I get 201 sales, I'm only responsible up to the point of the 201. So once I start getting close to that number, I toggle on my sales tax and then collect sales tax. Then I remit this portion, not this portion. So that's good to know. So I have my Shopify set up now so that I have it just collecting from my state. And then everything else will be if I make 10 sales in a state, which would be amazing. But let's just say it happens. I am not going to reach Nexus there, so it won't matter. And I won't have to remit anything to there, which is good to know. However, if I were to sell in person, so like if I went to New York for a vendor show, I would need to have sales tax and prove that I'm collecting sales tax because I'm physically there. It's not a online thing. So keep that in mind. Do your due diligence and look up that kind of thing. I have no plans of doing out-of-state craft shows. I am very close to Ohio and West Virginia, so I could, because there's about an hour in change between us. But I have no intention of being out of state for craft fairs. I'm not lugging anything out of state. I don't think what I sell would give me enough profit to warrant an overnight stay, travel, gas, all that. It's just not going to be worth it. So for me, that's not a deal breaker. But if you're in and out of sales, you need to physically have proof that you're allowed to collect sales tax from there, and then you need to remit that for an online or a in-person event, but online only if you reach the Nexus. So I figured all that out during my lunch break, and now my lunch break is over because I looked up and I was like, holy crap, that was already an hour. Like, I didn't realize I was even doing that for an hour, but here we are. I got to get back on to work. So I'm going to have to change or have shipping be another day. So maybe tomorrow I will spend all day trying to figure out shipping. I understand the logistics of the shipping, but I don't understand if I ship multiple products, how Shopify will know that it doesn't fit. So not to completely confuse, and I know I'm delaying because I don't want to go back to work. If I have this mailer, which is a 4x6, and I know that it fits one of these, or more importantly, one of these, a notepad, will fit in here, and I can send this for, let's just say, for the purpose of this, it's $5 to ship it, okay? I will put that it is in this package size, and it weighs this, and it'll calculate it and say that this is $5 to ship, and that will be shown at checkout. Understand that. Totally understand. What if someone, and it's tied to this product, so what if somebody orders 12 of these? It's not fitting in this little pack. I'm going to have to upgrade it to a bigger mailer. How does Shopify know that? Because it doesn't. It's looking for this and putting these together and giving you that total. So I watched so many videos that I am like, my head is spinning. So I need a break, which is why I'm going back to work. But I'm hoping that someone can answer that for me. I've left some messages on some of the videos that I followed just to kind of get an idea. I did not get the answer I was looking for on Shopify because they're just doing the top level. They're not saying if you have items that are completely different and they can go in a same package, how do you do that? Like, do you ship everything? Like, would then I only be a real candidate for flat rate shipping so that I say if it's in box A, B, or C? If you order too much of A or too many, then you're going in B. Or do I do the same box for everything? Or do I do it by weight? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what option would be best for me if I don't fit that criteria where all my products are exactly the same? Like, I'm not shipping only t-shirts where I can, but I mean, that even falls into the t-shirts. Like, what if somebody orders, like, you know, a poly mailer is going to fit at least maybe 2 t-shirts, possibly 3. However, if somebody orders 20 t-shirts, it's tied to a poly mailer. So does that mean I eat the cost on the shipping because it was not correct in the, or does it actually calculate and add on to that? So that's what I kind of have to figure out and test. So that's where I'm kind of throwing in a flag today and just saying, okay, well, I've solved the taxes, so let's take that win and wait for tomorrow. So that's where I'm at. But I will figure it out, I guess, eventually. So I will catch you tomorrow and we'll figure this out. If I don't freeze to death tomorrow and Friday, like Friday is projected to be -8. What? No. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thursday. So I'm going to be spending my lunch working on my Shopify store. I got an email back from Stripe, which basically said, go back to your Big Cartel platform and have them add these security features on the front end, which is what I did before I contacted Stripe, and they told me they couldn't do it. So I went back to them and I said, hey, you know, Stripe is recommending that you put in these rules, these, stops on the front end. And, you know, pretty much what I thought they were going to come back with was exactly what they did. You know, they don't support that. They don't have that in place at this time, that they escalated it up and that they know that it's a concern for small businesses, which to me, is not the answer I was looking for. I mean, it's a security risk, and I don't understand why that's not a priority before you even launch any of the frilly stuff that they're doing. I absolutely love that platform, and I'm sad that I'm not going to be on it. I bit the bullet and made it happen. So I am now on the Shopify platform. And I even purchased my own URL. So now I am officially craftingwithgloriouspurpose.com. No more adding .bigcartel in there and the whole thing. So I'm hoping that this gives me some more visibility, and just overall just makes me feel a little more secure. I'm at 812 transactions right now of just scammers, and it's such a blow that I can't get past it. I have my shop on maintenance again, especially with the 200 transactions that went through last night. It stopped at like 664 or something like that, and I woke up and it was like at 812, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do it. I can't sit and watch it happen. I don't know if that negatively impacts me because I can't seem to get an answer from Stripe that's a straight answer. None of these have gone through. Only one has, and I did refund it. So that won't reflect negatively on me, but 800 incomplete transactions through my Stripe account could. So I was like, is this going to make me look bad as a seller, or through the eyes of Stripe that I'm blocking all these payments, that I'm not a legit seller and they block me from legitimate you know, and so I haven't gotten an actual answer on that yet, which was the original thing that I opened my ticket for, was, is this going to negatively impact my business? And they can't seem to answer me. So I am moving on. I'm moving on, and I'm hopefully doing it for the better. So I am going to grab some lunch and work on that. I did spend a good portion of my morning before logging into work with my little scale, and have been going through working on my packaging options for each product so that I can put them in Shopify. I'm not quite sure yet how I'm doing my shipping, but I figured that's a starting point. I'm still a little hazy about the shipping, to be honest. I don't want to do flat rate because it's going to be so expensive, because most of my stuff is under an ounce. No, well, I take that back. They're well under 5 ounces. So I think the most I have, and I did not weigh my shadow boxes yet, but my towels are the heaviest thing so far, which is, you know, not a lot. So I just need to figure out how to work on that portion of it, because obviously stickers can go in an envelope. I have my poly mailer, which is perfect for my keychains and for my notepads. And then I have my, bubble mailer for that. And then I have my poly mailers, which would be more for these and my car coasters, because these are too big to fit into the little, I mean, I guess I could put them in there, but I would need to change the packaging to make that happen, which, now that I'm looking at it, if it's in-person events, I use this. Maybe when I'm sending it out, I put it in this, and then to make it easier on myself that I only have 3 types of packaging. And then obviously a box would be needed for the shadow box frames. But see, this is why we talk. We work this out as it goes. Yeah, I mean, that's the difference right there. So I just make it smaller and just shove it in here. I could lop that off at the bottom, and then, yeah, just make it smaller. Oh, Carolyn. Yes. So that's what I think I might do, is recalculate that and not use the big poly mailer to mail that. But yeah, so that's what I think I'm going to do right now. Like my big cartel has vinyl decals on there. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, mugs, and I'm starting off with things that I know I can finish to get this launched and ready to go. So I can cut ties quickly and get at least something up there, and then I can add stuff back in as I go. There are things I think that I'm not going to offer anymore on my website, but do in person, because obviously I have them made. I can sell them in person, put them on clearance or whatever. So I think for the most part, I've narrowed it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items at the moment. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get some lunch, start working on some shop updates on this, and then you know, I still need to do a tablescape for this next Friday. This is Thursday, the week before. So this weekend is definitely I need to get a tablescape together. But I did want to show you one thing. And I found these in their dollar section. And I bought 4. And what they are they're risers with little stands, but they have the wooden top on them. And I'm going to try these for this show because, like I said, it's very small, very intimate, but also in the grand scheme of things, it's only going to be a couple hours, and I don't want to set up a full grid wall and then have to take all that down just for 2 hours. So that is the foldable shelf, and I thought these were really cute. So I was like, I could put possibly a shadow box or two, depending on how I put them, but put these on 2 and 2 on the sides, and then have my bins and stuff in the front, and make this a little more, you know, a little more intimate. So that's what I got these. They were only $5, but they're listed as foldable wooden pantry shelf risers. And yeah, we're gonna give those a go. Even if they don't work, they might work for, right now I'm using the foldable bins from the Dollar Tree, and a couple of them are starting to, from putting things on top. So even if I did put this on my bin and I had, you know, my clear shelves, just to kind of give that illusion of height or a gradation, I could use these in conjunction with my grid walls for other bigger events. So I want to work on that tablescape this weekend, and we'll do that. But yeah, for the most part right now, I just want to get a good start on this website, and hopefully it would be awesome if by the weekend I can have something up and start trying to get some sales and get back to where the momentum that I had before all this took place, because this has definitely taken the wind out of my sales. I've just kind of wanted to just quit altogether, and just because I only attract scammers. Like, that's all I attract. Like, I do very well at in-person events. I mean, I get a lot of good feedback. People, you know, purchase the stuff. Everybody that stops in usually buys something, or take a card to buy something later. But I can't get any traction online. Like, all I get are people that are trying to scam me out of something, you know, send me a custom order that, you know, is a stolen credit card. And I just got to break past that. It's all of the transactions that I've had on my retail site have only been people I know, my family and friends. So I want to break out of the family and friend zone, but also break out of the scammer zone. I want to move forward, and hopefully this new direction will help me out this year. It is definitely scary because I am not making enough money to have this Shopify, but 3 months at, you know, $1 until the actual, you know, charges come through for the full, you know, subscription price. But yeah, I you know, something's got to give. So I guess that will be, you know, something we all go through together here, because I don't know that, you know, I can take any more of watching, you know, scammers take over my stuff. I can't. So I am going to go get my lunch now, and I will catch up with you later, hopefully tomorrow. And I do want to kind of go through the tablescape, so that might be something we can actually do tomorrow at lunch, depending on how far along I get on this website. But I do want to get some things up and running, and then I can add things as I go. And you know, fingers crossed this works out. Hello everybody, and welcome to Friday. Hello everyone, and welcome to Friday. This is been a whirlwind of a week. So I just got back from lunch with my husband. We went and did a little bit of shopping at Dollar Tree and Michael's, and Michael's had a lot of discount stuff. I resisted the urge to buy a bunch of Christmas stuff that was marked down. I had a few things in my hand and was like, you know what, I don't want to spend that money at the beginning of the year, especially since I just hemorrhaged money to Shopify. So I'm making progress on the website, but while walking through Michael's the tiered shelves that I was buying and waiting till I got a 40% off coupon, marked down to $8. So I saw one and I figured I would buy another one just to have it in case. I had used it for the car coasters, but then swapped it out for the notepads, but then was like, so I think now I have enough that I can do one for notepads, one for keychains, or if I want to take the keychains and kind of give them a little more breathing room because they're very tightly packed in there, so they're a little easier to go through. So that's the ideas that I have for that. I also have been hard at work at rephotographing some of my stuff for Shopify. I am actually inspired by how beautiful the site's turning out that I want to update some of my photography. So with that said, I have currently with my big cartel, I had limited amount of products, which I've said before in previous vlogs. So I pay for the 50 products and I was always around 47, 48 and never wanted to completely fill it all. But because of the fact I had to group a lot of things together. So for like keychains, I put dog keychains and then I would have 50 variations. So you'd go through and pick the dog you want, which worked okay. However, I can only show 5 images. So I had to get creative where I showed one of the keychain kind of in a scene, and then the others were collages with the different dogs so that you could kind of see what it would look like, but you wouldn't actually see it on the keychain. Car coasters the same way, stickers, everything. So I had 4 images that had 5 up on there to kind of get them all in there, and I think I've showed you them before. But now I can make every product, every single one, a product. So I don't have a photo of every single one of them. So what I'm gonna do, instead of me taking them out of the packaging just to photograph them and then put them back in to sell them in in-person events, I have been using my Photoshop to kind of photograph a blank, which is what I had set up over here. Using, you know, I have my keychains here, and then I was actually putting my artwork on them, how they would look when they're done. So I have all of the keychains made, all of the dog coasters done. I still have to do the stickers, and I want to do the vinyl decals the same way. So those are going to all be individual products at this point. Shadow boxes. I liked the photos that I had, some more than others, but there was one that I photographed, and it was my Christmas one that from last year from the North Pole collection. And if I can remember, I will put it here. I shot it with the lights on and one with it off, but didn't move the camera. So when I put both pictures in Shopify, when you roll over that, it looks like it turns on, and it to me went, now I need to redo them all so that they do that. So now I just made more work for myself. But I would like to get better photographs of them. They are kind of hard to photograph when they have the plexiglass in the front. So unfortunately, I have to shoot them at a certain angle so that I don't get the glare or you don't see my reflection in them. And it's a little hard. I did get a really nice shot, which I'm going to use as my hero shot on my main page, and I'm going to put that here. I shot that on one of my shelves that's above here. And I had swapped out all the batteries for the year for the in-person events. And since I did that, I had them all out and they were all ready. I put them all on there and took a nice photo of all 8 of them that I have that I swap out at in-person events for, depending on the show. So if it's a dog show, I put the dogs in. If it's spring, I don't show winter, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You get it. So I do have some extra shadow boxes that are kind of Frankensteined because the backs broke, or the little tabs, something broke on them, or they got a nick on them from various shows where they've fallen off the table because of the wind and they got a little scratched. So I would not be okay to sell them, but to put them in mock-ups, I could do that. So I think what I'm going to do is put all of these that I have already cut inside these and use those as my mock-ups, put a light behind and take pictures of them without the glass in them at all. That way you don't get the glare and they're going to look great. So that is what I'm trying to do this weekend. I cannot push it back any further. I have to do this tablescape. My goal is to maybe do it tonight and see how it goes. Last night I spent so much time working on my Shopify. I am almost at a good spot to make it live. I think I figured out the shipping. If I didn't, I'll just have to do it as I go. I did figure out the taxes, so I got that taken care of. So A, I can get paid. B, there's products on there with decent photographs. And like I said, I'm not putting everything that I had on Big Cartel into here. I'm going to do it as I need it. But I want to put the big items in there first. So I want to get everything in there before I launch it. So it's been a lot of tweaking descriptions, trying to make sure the SEO is good, all that encompassed into this. So I am probably about 80% on my way. I have, policies put in there. I have, I'm actually shocked, but since my shop is live, it comes up with a page that says opening soon. And then it has an email section so that you can type in an email and send it to me. And I was like, yay, I got contact. I can actually do it. So my husband tried it out and his email came across as one of my customers. So I can actually market emails to them. So that gave me an idea last night because I haven't posted on social for a little while. Mainly because I've been fighting this whole scam thing, which is still going on. But I did send out an Instagram post last night that I shared on my Facebook that has, I think it was on my stories, that just has a screenshot of that opening soon and just said, coming soon, our new shop. And I actually bit the bullet and, bought the domain. So now it is all mine. It is not at Big Cartel or any of that stuff. It is craftingwithgloriouspurpose.com. I'm so excited. I feel like $1,000,000 after I ordered, or I actually got that and it went through. I was like, that is now my domain. So my next thing that, once the sticker shock wears off from buying the full year of Shopify, which I haven't been billed for yet. They've only billed me for the $1 for the month. But the initial shock of that wearing off, I also have to pay $100. Well, depending on what shows I get for Moon Market, it's $100 deposit that you get back at the end when you show up. But it's incentive for you to show up because I don't know about you, but I'm not losing $100. But that's $100 that's taken out at the beginning of the year, and I don't get it back until I fulfill my last show. So if I get September, I'm not getting that $100 back until September. So there's that. But also other shows that I've gone to. So kind of my money for the year has kind of been knocked down a little bit. But I want to get, all of that said, finally get to the point of what I was really going to say. Once all the initial shock of all the expenses wear off at the beginning of the year here with subscriptions and insurance, the biggest thing that's next to check off my list is I want to purchase my trademark. I want my name trademarked so that it's registered to me. That's the only thing that I don't have with my name. So that's next on my list. And then we're gonna hit it hard this year. I can't, with all the uncertainty going on in the world, I can't say that anybody should feel secure at their job. But everything around me, everything's closing. So I'm more than a little nervous about that. So I want this to fall back on, and to make that happen, I need to push it hard. So I feel like I've been pushing hard, but I'm going to really push it hard this year. And I think using Shopify, I'm hoping gets me more exposure than my other website did. My husband made a good point that people might be thrown off by the .big cartel. So now that I have my own URL and domain, that it'll look a little more legit. So I'm hopeful, and I'm going to do that. So, I mean, we're moving along. We're getting there. We're getting there. It only took like half of January, or 3/4 of January, or actually all of January, because technically today's the 30th. So, I'm finally starting to get out of the winter doldrums, and I'm pushing ahead to get where I need to be. So yeah, I think I'm going to sign the vlog off here. Next week, I have a lot to do. If I can get the tablescape done, I will feel better on Friday. I took all of Friday off next week, so that I can prep, but I believe setup's at 3, so I don't have a lot of time at all. So it will be hurry up, get ready, and get over there. We are supposed to get more snow, so I'm going to be monitoring that. However, it is a sold out event. All positions have been fulfilled, and I believe she said, if memory serves, that they were supposed to sell like 50 tickets, and they ended up coming back and saying plan for 60 items, coupons, or whatever you're providing for the swag bags. And then she responded back saying make that 61. So 61 people paid to be in there. So I'm hoping that that makes it a nice event. And with it snowing, if it was a regular event where people didn't pay to get in, they'd be less apt to show up because they're not losing anything, but they paid to be in there. So I'm thinking 60 people might show up. You might get them, depending on how bad it is, they might just cancel it and move it, or not do it at all. So, I mean, there's still, that could happen if the snow is bad enough, but I'm just glad I don't have to lug a tent, tables, or chairs. And I'm not going to be bringing the grid walls, so I'm going to keep it very small with just products, the risers I bought, and a couple little things. And hopefully it's like one trip and done. I think I'm going to bring the wagon just so I can move things around easy. But yeah, I think it's going to be a small event, and I don't know that we're going to have the space for a whole bunch of things. So that's it. I will catch you next week. And we will be checking off some of this other stuff. Like, I was hoping to get these stickers done for this event, and I don't know that that's going to happen. I still have to print them all, cut them, put them in square. So I don't know that I'm going to get that done this weekend. That was kind of my goal, was to kind of work on that when I found out I had this show, and it never happened. And then everything else just kind of pushed me over the edge, especially with the scammers. But yeah, I finally had enough. I don't think Big Cartel has any intention of adding anything to the cart prior to. So I am moving on to Shopify, which does have all of the safety features that Stripe reached out to me and asked me to have Big Cartel fix. So I'm just going to have it done already on Shopify, and I don't have to worry about this card testing crap. So, yeah. So I'm just going to keep promoting, try to get some buzz going about people logging in. Hopefully they can come in, see the URL, type in their address, and I can kind of start building up an email list and getting interest in there before I launch the site. But I kind of want to get that going sooner than later so that people don't forget about me or see that the site's down and think something happened. So this way I can kind of throw it out there and try to get that traffic moved over to my new domain, and good times. So I hope you have an awesome week and weekend, and I will catch you next week. So thanks for watching, and give me a like or subscribe if you can, and leave me a comment if you got snow over the weekend. How much did you get? We were holding strong at about maybe between 9.5 and 10.5. I mean, it was kind of hard with the drifts and stuff, but comment below how much snow you got in your area. We're here in PA and we got about 9.5, 10.5-ish inches of snow. So hopefully we don't get any more because I don't have anywhere else to put it. So catch you then. Bye, everybody.